Fraser Coast. Many of you are probably aware that Vision Australia does undertakes a survey every year of our youth, and a lot of the data or the things I'm talking about tonight come from the 2019 Mission Youth Survey. But in that survey, one of the things that it showed was that our youth in particular, we're facing increasing numbers of students or young people who have difficulty coping with stress, they have school and study problems, they've got anxiety, they've got depression. And for a variety of reasons, our young people are lacking the resilience to be able to deal with these issues and to move on with their lives. So this particular one, this particular pitch is aimed at youth. The theme number 6, the particular strategy is 6.4, support young people experiencing vulnerability, and would form part only of action 6.4.1, work with schools to provide motivational speakers at both primary and secondary school levels. As well as that, this particular pitch would aim to address some of the issues that sit in theme 3, which is our families and young people as well. And in theme 3, it's around the community health, it's around risk-taking behaviours, and certainly early intervention and prevention and building a health culture. So our solution to this particular issue is to develop and implement a pilot program, initially in a small number of Fraser Coast schools that would help build resilience, and the program would be a suite of activities. So, in that particular theme in the social plan, it talks about motivational speakers, but we'd be looking at a range of activities that we would be able to deliver in concert with the schools by trained and or qualified volunteers, and the program would complement and run alongside the current youth mentoring program that has been running here through the neighbourhood centre since about the year 2000. So who are we? We're a group of people who feel passionately about this, and the majority of us belong to the Rotary Sunrise Club of Harvey Bay, and so the club has taken this on board as something that they would like to work with us on and to sponsor. And so within that, the Rotary Club of Sunrise Rotary Club of Harvey Bay initiated the youth mentoring program around 2000. And they started it and implemented it and then handed it over to the neighbourhood centre. We would build on that as we go forward with this one. The other thing that Harvey Bay Sunrise Rotary Club was involved in was our Triple S program. The Triple S program unfortunately no longer is running in Harvey Bay, but it was a program where we used to provide a service to the young people who were excluded from school, and they were basically wandering the streets, and so we took them in and provided a service through that. And so as a group, as a club, we've had quite a bit of experience in working with these sorts of students. As well as that, we're part of, obviously, of Rotary International, and so we'd be able to draw on the experience of a range of people across the world, programs that they've implemented in all sorts of different communities, and we draw the best from all of those. Now we know that this is a problem, that resilience is a problem, because the Mission Australia survey found that over 50% of adult mental disorders commence before the age of 18. And in 2019, the survey in 2019 showed that 1 in 7 of 4 to 17-year-olds reported having a mental illness, and 1 in 4 of 16 to 24-year-olds reported having a mental illness. The number of youth, and this isn't a Mission Australia data, this is actually from the Black Dog Institute, but the number of youth who had probable serious mental issues rose from 18.7% in 2012 to 22.8% in 2016. And that's a large increase just over a small period of time. Again, Black Dog has done some research around particularly the Year 9 cohort or age group of students, and they're finding that generally those students who have a mental disorder will be 1.5 to 2.8 years behind educationally. So if we can get this early, if we can start working with people, with our young people early, so that they no longer, or that they're not going to feel these issues, then it's going to clear the way for them to be able to engage with their education, and then obviously, better outcomes in later life. I've got 1 minute. Okay. We're suggesting the AEDC data is the Australian Early Childhood Development data, and that also shows that our students are socially and emotionally vulnerable. We might just skip this one and go to the next one. Some of the skills that we need to build are independence, good relationships with peers and adults, realistic body image and a stable sense of identity, an ability to formulate a set of values, skills for problem solving and skills for economic survival. Some of the things that we need to do to be able to develop those skills are to really work on the rituals and traditions like family beach holidays, camps, those sorts of things, developing respectful relationships, reducing alcohol intake, and increased financial literacy and increased social and emotional confidence. We don't want to reinvent the wheel, and so if we were successful tonight, what we would do would be engage somebody to work part-time to actually look at what programs are out there, what they're delivering, what the outcomes of those programs are, and then to be able to adapt a program that already exists, hopefully one that might be nationally accredited, that we could then approach schools and work with schools to be able to introduce those into the schools. So, any questions?